Texas declined Ohio State's offer to move what might be a Saturday, well, probably going to be a Saturday day game, August 30th, against Ohio State, to the nighttime. Let's talk about why that might be and what we're actually talking about when we're talking about kickoff times, fans, attendance, all of it. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. This is your first time watching the #1 college football show. Welcome. Thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round, so if that is something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think that Texas should have taken Ohio State's offer of moving the kickoff time from day to night? This is coming as we're getting to a place where fans are so savvy about when games are played and whether or not their team is getting fair treatment, or even the game itself that we expect to be big is getting fair treatment. We have come to recognize that a big game between two top 5 teams, whenever possible, should probably be played at night because it's the prime time window. Everybody's at home. People have finished dinner. People are ready to sit and watch 3.5 hours of college football on a Saturday night. And in large part, this is due to television, frankly. It used to be sacrilegious to play night games. Nobody ever did it. Matter of fact, it was the creation of night games that really sent television into another stratosphere, and coaches and fans decreed it. They did not like it. Seeing lights go up with the express reason being, hey, we want to play this game at night. We want to televise it at night. Used to be sacrilegious, right? And then you had commercial timeouts, media timeouts in basketball, they're called, because you got to pay the bills. But you know what people also like? Making money. And the easiest way to make money in college football is to broadcast your games. And if your games are broadcast, you probably are in a partnership with the conference and a television network or several to get paid a king's ransom to be able to play that game on their networks. Part of it, hey, we need you to play within these windows. So how did we get to a place where Ohio State and Texas may or may not be played at noon, right? We know that Big Noon Kickoff is the name of the television property that broadcasts the game. Big Noon, that's the pregame show, right? So Big Noon is probably going to be in Columbus, Ohio, right? August 30th, because where else would it be? As Fox airs a bunch of Ohio State games, a lot of the Big Ten, and this is the biggest non-conference game on the schedule in a weekend, Labor Day weekend, where we're going to have an enormous amount of big non-conference games on the schedule. Clemson, LSU comes to mind. There's a Miami game going on. Florida State, Alabama is not dissimilar, right? A couple of years ago, 2 years ago, as a matter of fact, that might have been a playoff game, right? If we're talking about Jordan Travis's Florida State and Jalen Milroe's Alabama with Nick Saban as head coach, you could see that. But now that we have really come to a place where we have NBC, CBS, Fox, and ESPN all paying lots of money to air the big power leagues, we're also seeing the television windows for those get filled, and nobody wants to really compete against each other. So if you have, let's say, Clemson, LSU on Saturday night, do you really want to broadcast Ohio State, Texas against it? No, because we both want to be able to watch those games. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It happens every single year. We always have a game that we don't expect to be a big deal, turns into a ranked matchup with another traditional matchup we might want to see head up against it. An example of this for me might be an unranked Oklahoma and an unranked Oklahoma State. Bedlam, right? Traditional rivalry game. If that is the same weekend in which, say, Texas Tech and Texas Christian are playing against each other and both of them are ranked, one of those is probably going to rate better than the other. But at the beginning of the season, you wouldn't expect those two to be going head-to-head with each other, let alone that we would be talking about Texas Tech and TCU being ranked and Oklahoma State being not. These things happen, right? But as you can do as much as you can now to take advantage of week one, because nobody knows anything except what we know from last year, it's been traditional that people expect to see big names play at night. Okay, so we have Fox airing its biggest game of the week in the noon Eastern broadcast window because CBS used to air the SEC at 2:30 in that afternoon, 3:30 Eastern, right? You don't want to go head up against an SEC top 10 opponent if you don't have to. And then you get a little bit further on, you also get in Big 12 in that window. Get a little bit further on, you got the ESPN Saturday night game of the week, right? So you get Fox in one window, CBS in another, and then your to ESPN and or whatever NBC was doing with Notre Dame that week. It worked, right? What doesn't work is people that want to enjoy the tailgating atmosphere of games, feeling like they got to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning just to go tailgate for a couple of hours, few hours, and then they got to make it to the stadium. And then they're going to watch this game that kicks off at noon. They're going to be done by 3 o'clock. And they're kind of deflated, right? If you are a fan of Ohio State, for instance, you don't like being the appetizer for whatever's coming in the afternoon or the evening. You believe that you're the main course. And there's lots of reasons as to believe that should be true. Number one team in the country coming in, I think, this year, right? I know there's going to be a lot of conversation about Texas, about Penn State, and about Ohio State, Oregon, so forth, so on. I'm not quite sure that I got Ohio State at 1, but right now it's difficult to make a better argument for other programs like, say, Texas or Oregon, who are also going to have new starting quarterbacks and a couple of new pieces that are big-time additions to their offenses and defenses. And there's a lot of people that are all in on Penn State because Drew Aller's coming back, Andy Kotelnicki's coming back, James Franklin's there, and they've added Jim Knowles. I've gone on at length about why I'm just not going to rank Penn State number 1. I'm just not doing it. A head coach who's got a 1-15 record against top 10 opponents, I'm not doing that. No, to be a top 5 opponent, to be a top 5 team, you got to beat top 5 teams as far as I'm concerned. And Penn State just doesn't do that. I mean, for whatever reason, Ohio State got them last year, right? Oregon got them last year. They get past Boise State, but that's not a top 5 team. And then they got to go play Notre Dame, and it comes down to Drew Aller having to make a play, and he didn't. Riley Leonard did. That's why Notre Dame played for the national championship, and Penn State went back home, right? I just can't do that. I can't get there. So we'll have that conversation a lot and further down the road as we get closer and closer to releasing a 135 and top 25 every other week after that. But I thought it was interesting that Ohio State fans were so loud about when they think this game might be played, right? And I thought it was kind of cool that Ohio State went to Texas like, hey, if we agree to move this game, we could probably play it at night, but not Saturday night. It would have to be Sunday night. And I think that's the rub, right? You're going to ask Texas to change its travel plans coming to Columbus. And it seems like Texas just did not want to do that. Plus, you'd be up against another primetime game on that Sunday evening. I think that if Texas wanted to play at night, they'd be playing at night, period. I do. I think there's something to needing to play that game in the daytime at Ohio State, because Ohio State at night, ask Tennessee how that goes. You know, like it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun if you're an opponent, but it is one of the better home field advantages in all of sports. And I think Ohio State fans would like to make themselves be heard in the dark of night as Arch Manning is trying to get them off this 3rd and long, and somebody comes up with a stop. Because the crowd at Ohio State can influence the game, right? We're talking about more than 100,000 people that are ready and willing to give Arch Manning the what for and the how now, and to try their damnedest to upset a Texas team that showed it could be upset when they played Georgia last year. Like their fans showed that they also can't hold it together. You know, I think that's something you want to take advantage of if you're Ohio State. But them declining the offer was interesting, and also more interesting, Ohio State making the offer, which means that the networks were like, in this case, Fox, hey, here's what we can do, right? And if they don't want to do it, then they don't want to do it. As it is, it feels closer and closer like we're going to be playing that game at noon. I'm fine with it, but then again, I watch college football all day, every day on Saturday. Like, I'm up at 6 in the morning. I go to bed at 2 in the morning. It's fine. They're going to play games when they play games. I don't genuinely care, especially as I'm an Oklahoma fan in the 2010s when every game that Fox had for Oklahoma also felt like it was at noon. Again, we know why fans like it. We know why networks like it. I think that if you're getting paid to do the job, you do the job when they ask you to do the job, and that's what Fox is doing. Don't like it, don't play.